Hello, I'm Barry Simon for Conversations for Peace, coming to you live from the Reagan Center in Washington, D.C., and I'm here with a lovely young lady, Hend Alkarzon. Did I pronounce that reasonably correctly?
Yes, you did.
Okay, great. So we're going to talk a little bit about what would be possible if everybody could get along. And I'm an older Jewish guy from Portland, Oregon originally, and Hend will tell you a little about herself, and we'll go from there. All right? Thanks for joining us today. Please tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I'm Hend Alkarzon. I came here to the United Nations Leadership Summit and met an amazing person. His name is Barry, and he told me a little bit more about the work he does with peace work amongst countries. And it came to my knowledge that he's Jewish, and I'm Muslim, obviously, with my headscarf. And we've discussed an important issue, and this issue needs to be really discussed, and we need more awareness on it. And for me, being here speaking with him, I think this voice does matter. And any little action from whether it's me, Barry, or you guys, anything you take out of this video, it's definitely going to help out people out there. And one thing, and it's a very common misconception on Jewish people, and we've noticed a lot of Semitism against them as well, is, once you hear there's a Jewish person, you commonly really associate them to being Israeli. And when you hear an Israeli, that's commonly known also as being against Palestinians and advocating for the killing and shooting of innocent people, and also the genocide that's been going on for a while. So I want to give a little bit of background about myself, and I want to make it personal as well, because this is really where the connection comes, is when you connect hearts between people. So I'm Palestinian. I came with my family 12 years ago from Palestine. The moment I stepped feet in this country, I made a promise to myself that I want to make a change, and I want to help my people back home with the littlest thing possible, because there's this guilt inside of me that's been going on, and it is leaving my people back home suffering and going through the war zones. And going through that as well, it gets me super emotional watching the news all the time. And part of the reason I am here in the United States is because I lost my home. So in the 2008-2009 war, my family and I had to flee out of our house because we got notes for evacuation of our building, and it was a 12-floor building. It got destructed. We left everything behind. We came here as an asylum, so my dad applied for an asylum, and we had very little options of being here in the United States. I did cry because we got back very unfortunate news that we wouldn't be able to make it here to the United States. After a few months later, thanks to God and to the people that helped us, we were able to make it. But that doesn't make it, I don't want to make it sound like I'm leaving my country, and I don't want to seem like a traitor to my country as well. So being here, I'm trying to take and make the most out of my time here, and to make it an advantage for me and my family, and the promise I made to myself since being here. And I think it's coming to reality with me speaking to you guys today.
Absolutely.
And that is the piece that we want to bring along, and the true picture of what we see. It is a testimony from myself of the situation that has been happening. Seeing dead bodies on the floor, seeing blood all over the place, and that is coming from a 10-year-old. Now, I was the oldest of five children.
Wow.
I have 4 siblings, and the youngest was 8 months old. And this has been a traumatizing experience, and a lot of people are going through that now, while I'm here living in peace. And I do feel like I have so much advantage. I'm giving so many opportunities, and I want to give back. And this is why I'm here at the United Nations conference today. is because we were given financial aid and financial assistance and support from this organization. So the United Nations and the sub-organization of it called UNRWA is an organization working within Palestinian refugees. And so
What was that organization again?
UNRWA, it's a sub-organization of the United Nations. United Nations is a superb organization. It's huge, and they're it's a big branch, and there's just so many organizations working beneath it.
Yeah.
And it's located in so many countries. You can read all about it if you go to the United Nations website. And I'm not the best person here to speak all about it because
fine.
I've actually just learned that yesterday from all these amazing people and locations across the world.
So I want to acknowledge you for the courage that it takes to recognize that you don't want to just seem like, oh, you're in the U.S. now and bye-bye to my people or something like that, but actually that your commitment to making a better world and making a difference in any way you can to improve the lives of the Palestinians and as a result, all people on the planet.
Yes.
And, so I really just acknowledge you for that courage that you've obviously had to face and deal with, and your family as well. What is it like for the people that are living there now, generally speaking? Obviously, there's probably some aspects that are better than other aspects, or some aspects that are worse than other aspects, but generally speaking, what is it like for the Palestinians currently and where you were from?
So as I previously mentioned, I came here just with my immediate family. So I came with my parents and my 4 siblings. All our family is back home, and they're undergoing so many terrible situations when it comes to job security, food security, water, electricity, you name it. And so we have so many aunts and uncles and so many cousins, and we love reproduction back home, and so that with having a huge number of family members, it's really hard to provide assistance for them. And I'll give you also a personal story of my cousins, of course, my aunts and uncles, and the struggles they're facing now. So what I'm doing now is I'm starting a small organization in my community, and that is DeKalb. It's a suburb of Chicago. And we provide monthly assistance to our people back home. And of course, you want to focus on your relatives first, and they are truly struggling. They live off $100 a month.
Are they in a refugee
camp? That is a
camp?
family, so they are in kind of like shelters provided by the United Nations, and that is the UNRWA organization that is supporting those families. And it's a family, we're speaking of a family of 15, 17, so they have 10 plus children, and you can just imagine what that $100 could do. There's some also like a pantry express kind of organization that provides monthly food, monthly food and maybe a small stipend for those families. But we get weekly calls from our family back home, pleading for help, pleading for any type of position to be able to work, to provide for their loved ones.
Yeah.
And so it's I'm telling you now that the struggle back home, it's very genuine, and what you're seeing on TV might not always be true. You really need to hear it from people that actually experience it, and that is what I'm doing now, and that's what I'm trying to convey to you this morning. And so I really hope you do your research, you do look at the lives that really do matter. And we're talking about the main basic needs, the physiological needs. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the basic need, you just need food, you need water, you need electricity to be able to live, move forward, and get that job and be able to provide. And if they don't have that basic need, they can't really move forward without your help. And so I know you might not be able to help, but even with your voice, with a single post on social media, it does really make a difference.
So two questions I have for you. One would be, is there a website that people might want to go to that might provide some help or services that you would be able to assist with? Is there a website you would suggest?
So there's so many websites
Just
now for
give me one or two.
donations, but I want you to look at the most reliable sources, and I would definitely go with the United Nations. Anything within the United Nations organization, I totally trust.
So
and that's
UNICEF
what I've been.
or
There's UNICEF, yeah. There's United Nations Relief.
okay.
If you look at the also Palestinian for refugees, Palestinian for refugee children. So
Okay.
I think it's PCRF.
Okay. And what would be possible from your experience? What would some kind of peaceful agreement between let's say in Israel or even globally, what would be available for the Palestinian community or the Muslim community if there was more, or when there is more peace, cooperation, and understanding between all people?
That is a huge question for someone like me. And if I did have a say in this, and if my opinion did matter in this situation, because I know me and my people, and maybe whoever's hearing this, might not be able to truly aid and support this mission, but I do think, that there has been so many treaties, so many meetings with huge leaders, and nothing has happened, nothing has changed. So I think what we need here is people connection. We need people to understand what's really happening. I believe, if I do say something, mention a specific treaty to be put in place, many other leaders have said this, and they have a bigger voice, they have a more reliable voice, and they trust their opinion a lot more than they would trust someone like me that you have never seen before. But I'm speaking as a Palestinian refugee.
Right.
I'm speaking as a person that underwent a few wars, not just, a country war. There was a war between the Israeli and Palestinian forces, but we're also speaking about civil war itself. So we need peace within the country itself, within the people itself, in Palestine.
Among the Palestinians.
And also we need to bridge the gaps between the Palestinian people, the Israeli people. Although I do not like to promote for that word, you might disagree with me, and that's totally fine. But I do want to be loyal to my people. I want to be loyal to my country, and I know Palestine will live on forever.
Yes.
And it is Palestine, and it will stay Palestine.
Yes.
And so what I want from you, for us to work together, to really advocate for us, to really show support, to really research for the people that really need the help. So I'm sure that people like me and people that are living in Palestine, they're okay with the wars. I'm personally, I had to be okay with it. I was forced to be okay with the fact that there's bombing every day and we're going to school no matter what. This is what's going on. It's difficult, and we really don't have any other choices. But we need people like you to send any type of aid, to show support in kind words, because I know it helped me when I was there. So that would be very great.
Hend, thank you so much for your generous comments and for your commitment to making a difference with the Palestinian people, and to share your experience and to have your experience give you the courage and the willingness to stand for a world that works for everyone, which definitely can't exclude any people. All people have to be included in that promise for a better world, including the opportunities for the Palestinian people to live in peace and harmony in their communities with other people. We don't live in a society where everybody can just live in their own little village and not interact with the others. And to find a way to interact peacefully with the others in our communities is the opportunity of conversations for peace. And while you may think that some of your comments or that you by yourself can't make much of a difference, that it's more the more important people, the politicians, etc., they need to hear from us that there's people out there that are just like everyday people. We're not extremists, we're not far lefties or far righties. We're just people looking to make a difference, and you're one of those people. And I'm very grateful for having met you on this weekend and during this conference, and I really appreciate your commitment. and your willingness to share openly and honestly with our audience of Conversations for Peace. So there you have it. Feel free to send your comments into conversationsforpeace@gmail.com. Check out our other videos at www.conversationsforpeace.com. And just, be well, and may peace prevail on earth. Thanks very much.
Stand up for peace on earth. Yes, we're gonna find the way. Stand up for peace on earth, and we're gonna start today. Stand up for peace on earth. Yes, we're gonna find the way. Stand up for peace. Stand up for peace. Stand up for peace. Peace today. Stand up for peace. Stand up for peace. Stand up for peace. Peace today. Stand up for peace. Stand up for peace. Stand up for peace.